Hello, everyone, future generation across the world. My name is Kei공식. I'm from the Ministry of Unification. And our Ministry of Unification this year, in February, released a special book. And this is the book right here. And there are 6,351 voices of North Korean defectors in this one book. And today I wanna introduce you to the reality of North Korea that's in this book. Okay, so I hope this presentation is worth your time, and let's get started. Now, my presentation consists of three sections. First, the failure of North Korean regime. Second, residents turning to marketplaces. And the third, I'm going to show you that there is a slow but steady changes among North Koreans. There are a number of evidences that North Korean regime failed to provide their people with basic necessities. But before going into the details, let me make it clear why North Korean government failed to provide their people with basic stuffs. Why? Well, among many things, I should say that the answer is excessive spending on nuclear and missile development. And according to an institute in South Korea, the total cost of nuclear development since 1970s reaches up to how much? $16 billion. That's not cool, right? And if North Korean government had used the resources it spent on nuclear and missile developments to improve the lives of their people, then probably the economic circumstances would be quite different. All right, so let me get back to my presentation. And so what happened? First, well, North Korea has been experiencing the collapse of public distribution system, which is the key policy of any planned economy based on socialism. So the number of respondents who reported receiving food distribution from the authorities from North Korea has decreased a lot. Okay, so for example, under Kim Jong-un's leadership, this trend has intensified, making food situation of North Korea more and more uncertain. For example, 72.2% said they did not receive food rations, and more than half of the respondents said they did not receive wages nor food from their workplaces within a year prior to their defection. All right, next. So second, the report shows that increased grain production didn't benefit farmers. So since Kim Jong-un took power, over 70% of agricultural produce has been transferred to the authorities and to the militaries, but not to the farmers. And while the proportion distributed to the farm workers has decreased from 21.8% to 12.9%. Third, in North Korea, foreign currencies such as US dollar and Chinese yuan are widely used in financial transactions and as a means of value storage in daily economic activities. In particular, the use of Chinese yuan has quintupled under Kim Jong-un's regime because North Korea conducted financial reform, currency reform in 2009, but it failed. So that failure resulted in the loss of confidence in the national currency, North Korean currency, leading to an increased usage of foreign currencies, especially Chinese yuan. And fourth, we find the evidence of widespread bribery in North Korea. And I think it's a little like institutionalized or internalized. It's like in everyday life, right? So in North Korea, everyday extortion by those in power is exacerbating the hardships that North Korean residents are facing. All right, so bribes are everywhere. And of all respondents, 37% indicated that more than one-third of their monthly income has been extorted. And since Kim Jong-un's regime, this figure has increased up to 41%, and not surprisingly, the bribery nearly doubled. And now, supermajority of respondents, almost like 93% of respondents agree that wealth gap in North Korea has widened. And moreover, there is a stark contrast in the provision of public services between Pyongyang, which is the capital of North Korea, and other regions. Compared to Pyongyang, the rest of North Korea faces greater challenges. So, 지방 has a big problem in accessing essential public services and infrastructure, including food rations, hospital treatment, heating fuel, and individual water supply. So, unlike Pyongyang, these, other regions in North Korea are having a lot of difficulties. 6, North Korean authorities are establishing a comprehensive system of controls and surveillance and regulations across the society to prevent a decline of ideological unity among North Korean people. So, since Kim Jong-un took power, social surveillance and restrictions by the authorities have intensified, and they need this system. Otherwise, this system is not sustainable. Next. So far, I've introduced that North Korean regime failed to govern their own people. And now, in this second section, let me show you the responses by North Korean citizens, which I can call marketization from below. First, during the arduous march of mid-1990s, 고난의 행군, right? North Korean residents began actively engaging in market activities to survive, to support themselves, 각자 도생하기 위해서요. So marketization surged throughout the whole 2000s. As North Korea's formal economy continues to stagnate, a variety of private economic activities, including commerce, small plot cultivation, and also smuggling, are steadily becoming crucial income sources for residents. So here, 68.1% reported their primary income came from informal, unofficial sources. And this is growing until now, it's growing over time. Finally, like 90% of all respondents stated that it's almost impossible to live without the market, underscoring their absolute reliance on market activity. Secondly, the report shows that a free healthcare system promised by North Korean regime does not function properly in practice. Of all respondents, 38.3% indicated they had never received a treatment at a hospital. And more than 70% of respondents were even unaware of section doctor system. And section doctor system is a key component of North Korea's free healthcare system. So North Korean residents, they had to run to the marketplace to purchase their own medications. Medications are not in the hospital, but in the marketplaces. Third, while there are other evidences of marketization that there are in the book, for example, like self-reliant electricity and heating, the growth of private employment, and even home purchases outside the law, we also find that with the spread of marketization in North Korea and increasingly robust participation of women in economic activity, there has been a growing shift in women's status in household. So, that's, I guess, evident sort of, result of marketization. Now, third section, now we know that North Korean regime failed to provide basic stuff to their own people. And as a result, that led North Korean people to create marketplaces for everyday living. The report demonstrates now that a slow but clear shift in North Korean residents' value system and their attitudes toward Kim Jong-un's regime. We also find that there has been increasing amount of information inflows from outside. All right, so first, let me go one by one. First, even in authoritarian dictatorship, North Korea, there has been a gradual rise of individualistic tendencies, and the rejection of collectivist values. So their value system has been changing as a result of marketization. And growing number of North Koreans are now prioritizing their personal affairs over their obligations to the regime and to the authority and party. Second, North Korean residents continue to access foreign video content via cassette tape or USBs or other media devices, despite legislation enacted to restrict access to external information. And one of the prime examples is that, notably the new law that had been passed in 2020, that the name of the law is the Law on Rejecting Reactionary Ideology and Culture, in Korean, 반동사상 문화 배격법입니다. That was passed in 2020, and North Korean government is trying their best to restrict, this information flows, but it's not working very well. So according to the survey results, 83%, so almost all respondents who defected during 2016 to 2020 period reported that they have watched foreign video content, indicating this is a growing trend. And third, finally, there are growing negative perceptions about Kim Jong-un's succession and Kim Jong-un's regime in general, which negative views in this case reaching up to 56% during the 2016 to 2020 period. So let me wrap up key findings. So first, I've introduced how bad North Korean situation is. So North Korea's excessive spending on nuclear and missile developments led to the economic hardships and suffering experienced by the residents of North Korea. Secondly, their efforts to strive for self-sufficiency led to marketization from below. And also, this marketization provided many chances for North Koreans with means to share outside information. Finally, this marketization and information flows, is changing North Korean society. So marketization and information flows are causing slow but steady changes among North Koreans, which are, I think, mostly directing towards a society free from state repression. Well, this concludes my presentation, and thank you for your attention. Thank you.